He was just really sick. He had all these bruises, and we noticed his warts kept on getting worse instead of getting better once they were being treated. He would complain of a sore stomach, sore legs, he'd have bleeding noses, and he was off his food, pale. And everybody used to say, gosh, he's lost a lot of weight.
Just wasn't as active as he used to be.
And then we took him to the doctor in Amberley. We were there, and he said, oh, Jock's lost a lot of weight. And then we started our trips into Christchurch Hospital. Then he ended up having a pericardial effusion, which is where the sac, which is around the outside of the heart, and it has a little bit of fluid in it. It had filled up with fluid, and he was literally like having a heart attack. And that was the day after the September earthquake. So we went up to Auckland, and when we were at Starship, that's when they diagnosed what was the matter with him. Well, Richard had already gone home because at that stage we'd had the bone marrow aspirate result had come back, and that was clear, under 5% blasts. And so Rich went home. That was on the Friday, and then on the Monday we got the Trefine results back, and Jock's doctor Peter phoned me and said,
"Are filming yet?"
Yes, we are. Yep. And he phoned and said, would you come, and I want to talk about the results of the Trefine with you. So I went, and I could tell I had to go to the oncology ward, so I sort of knew what that was meaning. And up until then, we'd been in the heart ward of Starship. And I took our paediatrician, Raywin Gavin, with us. And the nurse, the male nurse, wanted to come along as well. So we all went up together, and Peter just gave us all this information. And I had to stop him halfway through and just say, stop, Peter, this is just too much. It's information overload. We've had earthquake from Christchurch, and I was feeling traumatised enough from that. And then the next day we had Jock's heart problem, and it was too much information. So then we came home the next day, and
it was waiting then. From then on, it was just waiting while we tested his brothers for compatibility and then looked further afield for donors. So it was just a waiting. And
well, we do everything as a family, so it was just a obvious decision that we would all go together. And I mean, we could do that because we could stay at Ronald McDonald House. And the hard bit was the planning, but in the end, it all just sort of fell into place. And the boys' school teacher from down at Greta Valley, he came and he house sat. He stayed in the shearers' quarters with his wife and did the day-to-day things and dogs, and that was real peace of mind having him there. Richard's dad looked after the farm, and we had volunteers. Everybody offered to help with shearing and help with all these different things. So
it was quite a smooth transition, because the time frame we were given was a week before the school year started. So we all went to Auckland. The boys enrolled at a new school for 2 terms, so they had a fresh start from the year, and the time frame was fortunate for us, if it could be. Yes, we were explained right from the start the procedure for the next 10-12 days, all the pre-transplant treatment with chemo and everything. Then the cord blood arrived from New York. That all went smoothly. He started getting blood counts. They started to lift nicely, which was good, until we were coming home after 3 months. They started to drop again. So we knew that the transplant had originally been successful, but then failed. So then it was another long waiting game while we tried to keep him safe.
That bit was hard. That was
while
difficult.
We waited for another donor. And because they'd used a cord blood donor first time, they didn't want to do the same thing twice. They didn't quite know why it had failed, but what we understood was if something fails, you do it differently the second time. So the next donor was a live donor from Germany.
And they had also said too, Jock was a bit of a one-off. Well, he really was a one-off, because when people have lost their transplant, it is for a reason. It might be you've had an infection or you've become unwell or something, but he didn't have anything, so that's why we felt nervous. That was the tough bit. But I mean, we had the other boys there, and we still stayed positive and had the boys as a distraction.
Yeah,
and
the other
it
boys were a
was-
great distraction.
It was actually
Following their lives and their school was
good.
yeah, was good. He loved it.
Yeah. Jock, what would you say to us at just before 3 o'clock every day? What would you say?
Oh yeah, we want the boys to be home.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're better than the others. Way better.
I think his favourite day was when he'd been on the ward in isolation for probably 60 days without leaving his room, except for on his birthday. He left the room once, was when we were, spur of the moment, told we could go out because his blood counts were high enough. And his ears pricked up when the nurse said it, and he was out that door and watching him try and run down to the Ronald McDonald House when his legs hadn't run for a long time, and watching his face light up. Most kids run in and outdoors several times a day, but watching him run out for that first time was
Breathtaking.
keen to get home, but aspects of Auckland were pretty good to us too, especially the boys loved their time there. They really enjoyed their sport and their school. So as keen as we were to get home, there were some...
And you still feel a wee bit nervous, you know, because you've had your comfort zone of living at the house and having Starship just up the hill, and then all of a sudden you're going home, and I felt nervous because we were coming back to Canterbury and it was still very shaky.
Those two people started school when we were in Auckland.
And why did they start at Greta Valley School then?
Because the school went up down in the earthquake.
That's his girlfriend.
Josie.
And yes.
Shall we flick through?
Let's have a look at another page.
And Zach?
Where's these?
He's not in there.
Okay.
No, because he came after that.
He was the earthquake boy, remember?
So all the children made up a page each.
There's a dolls page.
Put it in. Mrs. McMillan sent it out.
There's a dolls page.
And she put so much effort into it. She
So every-
made the wrapping papers.
Every kid in his class has made their own
What
page.
page is that?
Try and keep your lives as normal to what they would have otherwise been. And if that means having other kids around you doing normal things, because you can't sit in a room with four walls all day and all night worrying about one thing, you actually need distractions. And that's what our other kids offered us, was something else to do, something else to be, somewhere else to be, somewhere, another commitment, just something else to take your mind off things.